Good morning and welcome to today's Cabinet meeting. This is not a public meeting but a meeting the public can attend. I am Glyn Jones, Deputy Mayor. I will be chairing today and I would like to welcome you all to today's meeting. We are not expecting a fire practice today, so if the alarm sounds, please leave the building in the appropriate manner. This meeting will be recorded and published on the Council's website. By entering the Council chamber, you are accepting that you will be recorded and your images will be retained and broadcast by the Council. If anyone intends to record today's meeting, please ensure that this does not disturb the conduct of the meeting. Please ensure that your mobile phones are switched to silent mode. Thank you. I will now commence the meeting. Item 1, apologies for absence. I have apologies for absence from the Mayor of Doncaster, Ros Jones. Are there any further apologies? I don't believe so. No? Okay. Item 2, exclusion of the public and press. There are no items on the agenda where the public and press are to be excluded. Is that agreed? Agreed. Thank you. Item 3, public statements and questions. We have no public questions or statements received. Item 4, declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest? No. Thank you very much. Item 5, decision records from the meeting held on the 25th of June 2025. These have been previously circulated and are for noting only. Is that agreed? Right, if we move on to the reports. Item 6, Youth Justice Plan 2025-2026. I will invite Councillor Sue Farmer, Cabinet Member for Children, Young People and Families to introduce this item. Sue?
Thank you, Chair. Today I'm pleased to introduce the Statutory Youth Justice Plan for the year 25-26. The plan highlights the performance by the Youth Justice Service in the past year and some areas of challenge in this regard. The plan is informed throughout by the experiences and voice of young people and families, which demonstrates the positive impact of the services received, and those can be viewed throughout the plan itself and also in the appendices. In the past year, there has been some very strong performance in preventing and diverting children from the criminal justice system. 98% of children receiving a diversionary outcome do not reoffend. In relation to those children who were not diverted, the annualised reoffending rate was 32.5%, which is higher than our target, but is the same as the England average. More encouraging, however, is that the quarterly cohort demonstrates that the reoffending rate has reduced to 23.1%, placing Doncaster in the highest performing quartile and with further reductions anticipated. Over the past year, no child has received a custodial sentence, placing Doncaster as one of the highest performing areas in England and Wales. The plan sets out targets for 25-26, which are ambitious. The Youth Offending Service aims to ensure the first-time entrant rate does not exceed the target through the work of EPIC, the Youth Justice Service and the police. The custody rate target remains the same as last year. The Youth Justice Service continues to work towards bringing the rate of children who are looked after in the criminal justice system to a level which is comparable to children who live in family homes. The plan also highlights some notable achievements in 24-25. These include the launch of a new antisocial behaviour virtual reality programme via our prevention service, the successful achievement of the turnaround programme target and the reoffending rate amongst this group being extremely low at 0.7%. Additionally, there have been the trialling of a buddy tag system to enable the whereabouts of young people to be tracked with their permission as a direct response to dealing with criminal exploitation and the prevention and detection of crime. The Youth Justice Service has worked at pace over the past year, implementing improvements in the way risk is assessed and managed with all staff undertaking training in this area. This has also included a focus on victims to ensure victim voice is evidence in assessing and planning. I therefore ask that Cabinet endorse the plan, which will be next heard at September's full council meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. I will now ask the Cabinet members to indicate by raising their hand if they wish to ask any questions in relation to this item. Colleagues?
Chair, I've got a comment. I wish to commend the service for all it does to persuade young people to make better choices in life. I'm really pleased that the reoffending rate has been particularly reduced, and all the work of this body is showing great results. So I support the plan.
Okay, thank you, David. Anything else from colleagues? Okay. Before we move on to agree the recommendations, I think this report is an absolutely outstanding report. It really puts us head and shoulders above most other authorities. And the work that we're doing is absolutely outstanding and exemplary. So it's a credit to our young people. It's a credit to the diversionary activities we're doing, and may it continue. So with that, colleagues, is there a proposal to agree the recommendation as set out within paragraph 10 of this report?
I propose it.
Right. Second. Thank you. And the recommendation is supported, and this will now be submitted to full council, as is the process with this report, for approval. Thank you, colleagues. Okay, if I may move on to item 7, Doncaster Tenancy Strategy 2025. I will introduce this item. This decision relates to the approval of a new tenancy strategy for Doncaster. A tenancy strategy is a statutory document that local authorities in England are required to produce under the Localism Act 2011. It sets out the council's approach to housing tenancies, particularly in relation to social housing provided by registered providers. The purpose of a tenancy strategy is to provide guidance to registered providers on the types of tenancies they should offer, for example, fixed term versus lifetime tenancies, how tenancies should be managed, including renewal, termination and support for tenants, how tenancy policies should align with the council's broader housing objectives such as preventing homelessness, promoting stability and making the best use of housing stock. Our previous tenancy strategy has now expired, and it is necessary to replace it with an updated version. The new strategy reflects significant changes in the housing landscape since the last strategy was produced. It ensures our approach remains fair, sustainable and responsive to the needs of Doncaster's residents. We have developed the strategy following extensive engagement with a wide range of stakeholders, including tenants, elected members, and the Regeneration and Housing Scrutiny Panel. Today, Cabinet is asked to approve the new tenancy strategy so that it can be formally adopted and implemented. This will provide clarity and consistency for both providers and tenants and support our wider aims around housing stability, affordability and effective use of social housing. With that, I thank you and commend this report. I will now ask Cabinet members to indicate by raising their hand if they wish to ask any questions in relation to this item. David?
Chair, I support the proposed changes to the strategy and note that Doncaster must have a current and viable tenancy strategy that supports Doncaster residents. We also have to take account of legislation and local need, but also to allow more efficient use of our housing stock. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, David. Any other comments or questions from colleagues? Okay. So, in approving the proposed tenancy strategy, we are, however, aware that following on from this decision and in line with the strategy, Cabinet is due to receive a further report in October to consider proposals to make changes to the terms of the Council's tenancy agreement, including to the qualifying criteria for successions. We are in particular concerned about the impact any such proposals may have on the family members of tenants who currently meet the qualifying criteria for successions. Therefore, we would request that the author of that tenancy agreement report provides Cabinet with a range of options in relation to succession, which may assist to mitigate against that impact and allow Cabinet to make an informed decision on those issues. Is there a proposal following the caveated statement that I've just made? Is there a recommendation to agree all recommendations as set out within paragraph 10 of the report? Thank you, David. Seconded, thank you. Therefore, the recommendations are agreed. That now concludes the items of business on the agenda today. I would like to thank everyone for their attendance and input, and I will now close the meeting. Thank you, colleagues.